is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, welcome everybody to the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction live coverage. It is Sunday, June the 25th, 2023. My name is Jeremy Lee. As always, I would like to thank all of you viewers, subscribers, listeners. If you're not yet subscribed to Sports Cards Live on YouTube or on Spotify, please take a moment to do so. Nor also, if you are not yet subscribed to the Hockey Cards Gongshow on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, everywhere, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the Gong Show as well. Let's go ahead and bring out our co-host for this evening, Mr. Josh Madigan. Welcome back to the show. How are you tonight?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I am good. Very well. Thank you. This week's hockey auction has 312 items, although that my number might have gone up a couple since I looked the other day due to the flash items hitting the auction. Of those, Josh, we have starred or favorited or selected about 41, I think it is, cards that we are focused on tonight. Yourself, what were your sort of impressions when you went through the auction in preparation for the Gong Show? You guys cover some of your favorite items. Were you excited about the items that you guys covered this week?
Yeah, I think in general, there was some really cool vintage cards, some decent Parkhurst from the 51 set in there this week that we looked at. And then there was a couple modern cards that were unique that I know are on your list too, that I'm really excited to talk about. I just love when there's different stuff in the auction.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. So do I. Now, if you are watching, I put in a link into the chat, which should be showing up on the YouTube chat, on the Facebook chat. It's a link to the hockey auction that is ending tonight. You can click on it. I think it's a very long link that I put in there. Like, it's that long. I don't know why, but if you want to try and click on that from the chat, you should be able to, and it'll take you like straight to only the hockey auctions for tonight. So check that out if you would like to, and that's where you can go to place some bids and get into the action. We've got Name in the house. What's going on, Name? Good to see you as always. Jake Dahl, always here. Good to see you, Jake. Scotty Pope, what's going on? Good evening to you. And Mr. the one and only Troy Kirill Kaprizov Iverson. Welcome to the show, Troy. Always a pleasure to have you along with us for the ride. Well, what do you think, Josh? Should we? Oh, the link works, says Troy. Good. There you go, guys. Nice to see. So click that link, place some bids if there's any cards you're interested in tonight. We're going to start talking about them right now. Josh, I'm going to share up the screen. Here are the first three. So there were a couple of C55s on the block this week, but this Walter Smale is the one that really caught my eye, Josh, because this is, I think it's the only card in the C55 series that has a variation. There's this one, which is called Right Hand on Stick. You can see down there, like his glove is, let's just open it up. His glove is actually in the painting sitting on top of his stick. The variation for this is called Right Hand on Hip, where his hand is on his hip instead of on a stick. My understanding is that the right hand on hip is actually the rarer version. So this card, you know, this particular variation should be the more affordable entry into getting this card and completing your set. It's a beautiful card, Josh. Like, look at this thing. It's an SGC 5 in EX condition. Now, side to side, the centering looks pretty great. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's really nice. Top to bottom, it's great. It's not perfect, but it's great. Like, that's the thing about these old tobacco cards. It's hard to find perfect centering. So when you find one that has really a nicely presented centering as this one does, you have a great card. So I love the card. And I'm working on the set of these C55s, and I have the other version, which I just happened to to get. I didn't even really care which one I got, but that was the one I got at the time I bought it. So if I were to look to have the master set, I would need to add this one. But for me, I'm good with one copy of it. It's a very nice card. Currently, the card is sitting at $1,025. In the SGC population report, this is a 1 of 1 with none or just one graded higher. So, Josh, it's kind of cool, like when you can say, I've got one of the 2 nicest Walter Smale right hand on stick variation in a SGC holder. And as you know, as we know, SGC is better known for its vintage than it is its modern. I personally don't like modern cards in their slabs for my own collection, but the vintage ones look pretty good. And that's a pretty nice card. Before we move on, I'm going to get you to jump in right now, Josh, and just give your commentary on this Walter Smale.
Big fan of the C55 set. We were trying to figure out, and maybe you told me this before, and I'm sorry if I didn't remember, but why did C56 come before C55?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know why that happened. Maybe when Jefferson Burdick named them in his book, when he was writing his book that is kind of laid down the foundation for all of the nomenclature for all of these tobacco era sets, not just hockey, but all sports and non-sport. Maybe he thought that the C55 set was the one that came out first. That's all I can think of. But yeah, it goes C56 came out in 1910, C55 1911, and C57 in 1912. So the years go in order, but it goes C56, then C55, then C57 in terms of chronological by set name.
Yeah,
that's my best guess. But
the other thing that stands out for me, or I guess observation that I made when I was looking at the card as you zoomed in on it a little bit, is I really don't mind in these older cards the rounded corners.
No,
for a card that's 13 years old or something like that. What would you expect?
Yeah.
And so I think this is as nice of a copy as you could probably expect to ever see. Hence the fact that it's one of the 2 top grades in an SGC holder. So yeah, it's a pretty cool card.
Oh, I agree. And like, I don't mind at all and I have a lot, like I'm almost completed this set. I have the whole C56 series complete in my collection. I don't mind rounded corners on these cards. I like uniformly rounded corners. I don't want like the 2 left edge corners to be square and the 2 right to be rounded. I want them to be symmetrical and uniform throughout. But this, to me, a 5, an EX card, is high grade for me, in my definition, for a tobacco era card. So, yeah, I think this is a great copy for someone who's looking to fill out their set or just wants the Walter Smale card. Fast forwarding from 1911 all the way to 1951, we just time warped 40 years, Josh. We have a 51 Parkhurst Boom Boom Jeffrey-on, one of the key Hall of Fame rookie cards in the set. Boom Boom, very popular Montreal Canadian. This isn't a VGX4, and I gotta look at this because it looks nice, this is as I've been saying lately, Josh, this is a full-bodied 51 Parkhurst. Just so you can tell with how wide these borders are. It's got some pretty significant fisheyes here. Look at this one right here. This looks like a cat eye almost. That's a big fisheye right there. You got one right there, another right there, one here, and then several really light ones throughout the black background. The black text looks good. The red text looks good. Side to side centering is good. Top to bottom, it's certainly off-centered, high up on the card itself, but to me, side to side centering is much more noticeable and kind of impacts on eye appeal more than top to bottom. So keep in mind, this is not a centered card, but it's also in a PSA 4 holder. So I think what you're dealing with is some surface issues with these fisheyes, the top to bottom centering, and it looks to be a little bit more toned towards the top than the bottom, a little bit darker on the border here. So, but overall, outside of these fisheyes, I think this is a great looking copy of a 51 Parkhurst Jeffrey-on. And then we also, from the 51 series, have a PSA 5 Alex Delvecchio, another key Hall of Fame rookie from the 50. Now, when I say key, the top of the top of the echelon for the 51 Parkhurst is Gordie Howe, Maurice Richard, and Terry Sawchuk. And then you've got the second rung of Hall of Famers like the Boom Boom Jeffrey on the Alex Delvecchio, the Doug Harvey, and a couple others. But this Alex Delvecchio is also a full-bodied, very nice-looking card. It doesn't have the fish eyes, which is maybe why it's not a 4, but is a 5 compared to the Jeffrey on we just looked at. Side-to-side centering, really nice, not perfect, but really nice. Top to bottom, it's a bit better than the last card, but still a little bit high up on the card. But overall, these are two nice 51 Parkhurst Hall of Famers that you can pick up for about $400 each right now. Josh, your thoughts on the Parkies?
Well, on the Boom Boom, my glass half full approach would be that the fish eyes, he's at an outdoor rink and those are snowflakes. If I was selling the card, that's what I'd say. The other thing that is really interesting to me, Jeremy, about these two cards being side by side is go back and forth real quick and look at the difference in the quality of the artwork between the Jeffreyon and the Delvecchio.
Does any of it have to do with on the Jeffreyon, you've actually got ice, you got rink boards, and you've got the darkened, where the crowd would be. And here it's just, there's just nothing.
I don't know. It looks like a kindergartner painted the Delvecchio and a high schooler or something like that did the Boom Boom. It just looks really different to me. And I don't know. The Boom Boom looks a lot nicer. No offense to Alex there, but
yeah, I see what you're saying. This card, I feel like there's a registration issue as well, but I'm not seeing it everywhere. Down over here, I'm seeing it right there in his chin. Looks like there's a bit of a registration issue. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. This is not the prettiest card going as far as the image of the player. It's pretty basic and simple looking. And yeah, this one definitely has a lot with his arm up like this. And you can tell he's mid-action, whereas he's standing there just nonchalantly waiting for the face-off to happen, it looks like. So
Alex is a great player, of course. I just makes me wonder if they had multiple artists that worked on that set.
And Alex, the Delvecchio has the exceptional eye appeal rating, top 15% of PSA 5s that have come across the PWCC desk. So keep that in mind. You're getting what they feel is a very strong for the grade card. And I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, this is a very nice copy of the card. And again, it's full bodied, which for me kind of is the number one thing I'm looking for now on 51 Parkhurst in terms of a card that I would either purchase for myself or really, advise somebody to pick up. Moving along from 51 to 53, we have the 53 Parkhurst Bill Dineen. Now, I don't know who knows this out there, but 53 Parkhurst, they swapped the photos between Bill Dineen and Al Arbour. So this is actually a picture of Al Arbour, but it was never corrected. This is known as Bill Dineen's rookie card. So I kind of feel like if you're buying a Bill Dineen rookie card, you also have to get the Al Arbour rookie card because they picture each other. So if you want to be complete and have both, you need to get both cards. Nonetheless, as I mentioned, never corrected. So this is what would be sort of unfortunately considered to be Bill Dineen's card, even though it is not him pictured. It's in an SGC 6. It looks to be off-centered. Let's just take a peek at this one. Side to side, the centering it's noticeably off-center. Top to bottom looks relatively good, a lot better than the side to side. The image is great. The registration is bang on perfect, I would say. Edges, corners look, very good for the grade of a 6. Excellent to near mint. So nice looking card overall. And then we have a couple of Gretzkys. Before we talk about the Gretzkys, Josh, any comment on the Dineen? And were you aware that the Dineen and the Arbour images were swapped on those on the 53 Parkhurst rookies?
I was not. So that's very interesting fun fact. I'm also wondering why Al is in a t-shirt. I think, is he the first hockey player ever in a t-shirt on his card?
Oh, I never noticed that. This part right here looks like
his arm.
Or it might be a stripe on the jersey.
Oh, maybe.
Tough to say.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right.
Yeah. All right, let's close off these 4 and move on to the Gretzkys, because we always have some fun with Gretzkys. We have 2 of them tonight that we're going to look at. We have a O-Pee-Chee PSA 7 near mint and an O-Pee-Chee PSA 8 near mint to mint that has the exceptional eye appeal rating. So let's do this. Let's open up the 7. Let's open up the 8 right there. Let's look at the 7. So it's got that very appealing rough O-Pee-Chee cut on the right edge, on all the right edge, the left edge, and the top. I'm not seeing it so much on the bottom, but it is a little bit rough there. Bottom left corner has some white showing. Registration down here looks good. A little bit, the leg looks a little bit blurry, but I'm not seeing any, like the oil drop is nicely placed. Like minor white, just a sliver, a hair between the black and the blue right there. Nothing too bad. You come up. It does look like the word Oilers is, well, might be on this just a little bit lower than the word Edmonton, which would then be reflected that the magenta plate and the yellow plates would be a little bit low down here, but they actually look pretty good to me. So I'm not sure if I'm seeing things. His face looks a little bit blurry, so there is a slight registration issue with the card. Top corners look really good. I mean, that's fray coming off there, but we do seem to have blue surface coming right to the tip of the corner there, right in there. So that's good. On the left corner, same thing, fray coming off. So again, I'm trying not to confuse fray with like a damaged corner. This is extra fiber and material coming off the corner. Centering, it's situated a little bit left and maybe a little bit high. So this is, it's a 7, no doubt about it in my mind. This card is fairly graded as a 7 by PSA. And, this is one of those ones where if this card speaks to you, I say go out and grab it, especially if you're looking for one. Now we're going to shift to the 8. And on the 8 right away, you can tell that this card was cut from its sheet earlier in the blade's lives than the last card was. These are much sharper cuts, but they still have a sign of the O-Pee-Chee cut, especially this top edge is definitely shows signs of the O-Pee-Chee cut. The bottom seems to as well. The left, it's sort of hard with these plastic ridges that come across to see, but I see it right up there. And on the right edge, it looks a bit cleaner than the left edge and the top and bottom. Maybe a little bit of blur down here on the legs. Let's look at his face. A little bit blurry in the face. A fisheye right there. The word Edmonton and Oilers, though, the ink was laid down very nicely. Like, the only thing is this little white dot right there in the E. I want to go back to the last copy and look at these. Like, look at the dark print of the word Edmonton and the word Oilers. Really nice on the 7. The 8's really nice as well. So this card has the eye appeal designation of the E. So that's the exceptional top 15%. And I just want to look at these gaps right over here. Let's come over here on this card, and you can see, just come out a bit. See this white that comes all the way down here. It's in between the blue and the black. The blue and the black should meet straight on, but we see the white coming through all the way down to there. You see it over here. Nothing down over here, which is good. You see it right over here, right there. But you also are seeing the blue come over into the white over here. So this is something that, I always notice, and it's something that you have to consider if that's going to bother you or not. But outside of that, the centering on this card, the centering's magnificent. I think it's really amazing centering on this copy from what I'm seeing here. I like the card. The only issue I have with it is the registration. That's about it. I also just noticed this right over here, a little print mark right there, and seems to be something right here. I'm not sure if that's on the slab or on the card itself. A little bit of a print error right there as well. Josh, your thoughts on these 2 Gretzkys that I just reviewed?
On the 8, would you consider that, because you've looked at a million of these, a low 8, a mid 8, or a high 8?
I mean, I'm somewhere between mid and high. I would put it like PWCC put it in the top 15%. I don't know if I'm there myself. And the reason being is just the fisheye there, the mark there, this white showing through. The leg isn't completely sharp on the edges. That's one place to look. Is there any shadowing on the bottom edges of each of his legs? And there is on this one. But you know what? From an edges, corners, and centering perspective, yes, I do agree. So I would maybe put it in the top 20 to 25%, maybe not the top 15% for me, but I haven't seen even as many copies as they have. So I'm not like, sometimes I'm pretty aggressively against it or for it. In this case, I'm kind of teetering there,
The other thought I've had, and this is really something I've developed over the last 5 months now of watching you do this on this show, is if you ever wondered how there would only be 2 PSA 10s in both OPC and Topps, this set in particular must have been a nightmare to print. I can imagine like the press operator looking at the designer being like, what are you doing? I mean, there are so many intricacies that with all the plates that it doesn't surprise me anymore that there's only 2 PSA 10s. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, no, that's a fair comment, kind of giving some a little bit of leeway to the production of these and just how tough they would have been to get it right and especially back then with and I don't know printing technology, but I can only assume that it's improved and the processes and the technology have improved since 1979. All right, let's go to the next 3 cards. We have a second-year Gretzky and a PSA 8. Looks to be decent. It does have some counterclockwise tilt. The border here narrower than the one down here, and the opposite holding true on the right side. Otherwise, looks to be a really nice card. PSA 8 being near mint to mint. We've got Mark Messier, BVG 9.5. Very nice copy. I don't believe there are subgrades on this card. And then a Topps Raymond Bourque in a PSA 5. And I really just wanted to bring this one up to highlight the scratch off on the puck on the bottom. And, if someone out there is looking for if you're looking for a Raymond Bourque Topps rookie, this is an opportunity to grab one in what's going to be a very affordable, right now it's at $40. And I just want to open this up because it does look decent for a 5. And we don't often look at 5s, but I mean, centering, like look at the top edge and corners. They're beautiful. Look at the edges coming down. They're beautiful. The bottom corners are beautiful. The bottom edge is beautiful. The image is great. So what's wrong with this card? A little bit of surface wear maybe right in this area here, perhaps. And then of course the centering side to side is definitely off, and it's low as well. This border up here is thicker than the border right down there. Left border certainly wider than the right border. The black scratch off has some of these yellow lines here, but that's normal. That doesn't bother me. So I don't know. This is a great 5 from what I can tell. Josh, a really nice 5 right there. Let's open up this Messier quickly as well. BVG 9.5 gem mint. Like what a crisp copy this is. Now, of course, it might not be pack pulled, but look, there's a line going here. It looks like the slab has some scratches on it, which you can get out with some McGuire's Scratch X 2.0. That's what I use. But yeah, there's a scratch right there on the slab. I wish people just took care of their slabs better and put them in slab sleeves, Always kind of irks me when you get a card and it's all scratched up. The slab is all scratched up. But what are your thoughts on these 3 cards, Josh?
The Messier one's really interesting to me. I was just looking up comps, and BVG 9.5s don't sell very often. The last one I see in Card Ladder was from April of 2022. So what's that, a year and 2 months ago, 3 months ago now? $2,340 US is what it sold for. So right now at $1,175, that's a pretty good deal for a gem mint Messier OPC rookie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, compared to what it went for last time. Now, here's the back of the Raymond Bourque. Jake Dahl said maybe some damage on the back to bring it down to a 5. And as I'm looking, little surface, maybe that just might be fiber. That I think that's just in the card and certainly wouldn't bring it down more than even half a point. I don't, maybe there's something we can't see on this Bork, like a wrinkle or something somewhere, because it looks a lot stronger to me than a 5. The centering, though, I mean, you have to be okay with the centering, but for the price, you're just going to get yourself a pretty darn nice card. All right, well, let's keep on going, Josh. Here we have a Paul Coffey PSA 8 O-Pee-Chee. We have an 84 Steve Yzerman PSA 9 rookie card. It's $460. And then we have a rookie year Mario Lemieux scoring leaders card, PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee. So this is from his rookie year. It's, it's card number, his rookie card itself is card number 9 in the set, but this scoring leaders card is card number 262. So it's kind of one of those like, no, I don't own one of these right now, but I've been thinking about it because it is a rookie year card. Is it a rookie card? No, because it's not meant to be his main player card in the set. It's a scoring leaders card, a rookie scoring leaders card. And it's pretty cool that he got one. I believe Steve Yzerman has one from the year before as well in the 84 series. But this is something that I don't know that I would buy this as my only Lemieux rookie year card. But if I already have, and I do, his 85 rookie, this is a really nice companion piece to pair with it. And then if you want to go the extra mile, you grab the box bottom as well, the O-Pee-Chee or the Topps box bottom with the yellow border that has another picture. So you'd have 3 rookie year cards of Mario Lemieux, all with 3 different images, all out of O-Pee-Chee, and I believe you can get them all out of Topps as well. Although this one there might not be a top. I don't think there's a Topps version of this card. I might be wrong on that though. So, Josh, what do you think? What do you think of these? And while you're talking, I'm going to open up the Paul Coffey and the Yzerman to get ready for you.
Yeah, the Coffey and the Yzerman are 2 of my favorites. Love those cards. Just iconic early 80s hockey, which I'm a big fan of. And then I agree with you on the Lemieux, where, listen, today a rookie has about 6,000 different cards. Back in 1985, there was essentially 3, right? There were, if you don't count Topps and O-Pee-Chee different, you had his O-Pee-Chee base card, his box bottom, as you mentioned, and this card. And so if Mario Lemieux is your guy, this would be, I think, a really cool card to have.
And a lot of people don't even consider the box bottom to be a card. They consider it to be more of an oddball type of card. So I don't. I love it. The Paul Coffey definitely has some tilt to it. Yeah, it's got tilt. This copy might be diamond cut as well. It's hard to tell. So tilt is when the image is, if you look at my hand right now, if it's perfectly straight up on the card, that's great. But if you tilt the image, but the cardboard stays as a true rectangle with 90 degree corners, that's when you have tilt. The whole image is just tilted on the card, but the card is still a perfect rectangle. This one, I'm thrown right off by a couple things on this copy. The first thing is that the holder is too big for the card. Notice all this space, like it's in one of these wonky PSA holders. I don't know if this is a new PSA holder or why they're so inconsistent with the holders that they use for cards of the same year. But I'm also not sure that this card isn't diamond cut, which means that it's not a perfect rectangle. This is a bit of an optical illusion here, but look at the top border. This corner seems to be a lot higher up in our image than this corner here. And I think I think that the difference, like the height or the height of this corner from the bottom of your screen to this corner, that difference, a millimeter or 2, is bigger than the height differential from this corner to the bottom to this corner. If you were to take this bottom edge and bring the left side down a bit, like as if you're hanging a picture on your wall and you're just slightly adjusting it so that it's straight. If you were to do that with this card and bring that left side down a little bit, I think you would see, that this card is not only does it have a tilt issue, it's also diamond cut. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I would not be buying this card. I would not, like, if you're watching this show, I do not like this card at all. And I think it's way overgraded, to be honest. I don't understand how it got in an 8 holder. It's one of the uglier Paul Coffey rookies I've seen, to be honest. Certainly don't like this copy.
When you look at that, one thought that crossed my mind, and I'm not making an accusation here, it's just more of a curiosity. When a card doesn't fit a holder, and with kind of the weird cuts that it has, is it possible that it's trimmed? I'm not saying it is, but
no, I don't think that's the case here, because this is just a different holder. So speak of the devil, I have out my Lemieux box bottom right here, and I'm just going to come. So on my card here, just to show you, take a look at this little bit of what do you call that? Frosting. See that frosting there from here to here?
Yep.
Now look at the coffee. There's no frosting. So that holder has more room for the card than every other card I'm holding here that is in a PSA slab. And I've got, as far as not a tobacco card, I've got a few others here that I was showing on my show last night. This Gretzky card, it's got frosting from here to here. So no, that's not. I can't definitively say this card isn't trimmed, but it's not. It's not too small for the holder. Sorry, it is too small for the holder, but not because it's trimmed.
Gotcha.
I don't think. Yeah. And then you have a Steve Yzerman PSA 9. Looks really good to me. And I mean, this is kind of the grade for a lot of people to get in on an Yzerman, because the PSA 10s are, I don't know what they are anymore, but probably about $3,000, I would guess. It's not perfectly centered. You can see it's got a little bit of tilt as well. This border being a little bit wider than this one up here, and this one a bit wider than this one down here, centering off left to right a little bit. I'm not saying this thing isn't a 9, but keep that in mind. It's a 9. I think it's an average 9 for the card. And I certainly recommend owning a Steve Yzerman rookie, one of my favorite cards from the 80s for sure. Any further thoughts, Josh, on the Yzerman? I think you already talked about this Lemieux and the coffee.
Nothing really much to say other than I agree with you. It's an iconic card, and what an amazing player he was, the captain, 19 years of the Detroit Red Wings. And any vintage type collection, it's a good card to have.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do a couple comments here since we last looked at them. The professor says, good evening, and everyone, and wishing good bidding to everyone. Thank you, Professor. Carlos says, bid aggressively, please. I'm here to witness outrageous prices in real time. Says, I'm getting my PhD in vintage cards by listening to this stream. And keep in mind, 2 Thursdays from now, we'll be doing the PWCC Vintage Premier auction coverage that they're doing now, it seems like every month. And that's got some amazing vintage in it. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Carlos says, full body, well-aged hockey cardboard. Yeah, it sounds like we're talking about wine here. Jake Dahl says, yeah, I didn't go back and look, or we did go back and look, but then Larry said at the bottom of the Raymond Borg, there were some white dots. So make sure you're aware of that. No Tops version, Terry lets us know on the scoring leaders. Mario Lemieux, thank you, Terry. Oh yeah, because that year wasn't like it was like under 250 cards that year in Tops. And this is a card number 262. Name says, I've always loved the box bottoms and especially appreciated the card company's thought to make variations of the card with different photos. Yeah, I'm with you, Name. Totally agree with that. Dave Snyder says, if it was a 6, I would bid maybe on the Paul Coffey or think that it's a fairly graded card. Could be an older PSA slab on the Coffey. No, I mean, it's actually one of the newest ones, Jake. Look at the serial number there, 74. That's like right current as it is. And Dave Snyder says, I don't think this is trimmed. Yes, 2 former Sabres going into the Hall of Fame is what I assume you're talking about. Pierre Turgeon, who I'm happy to see making the Hall of Fame this year for sure. All right, Josh, let's go to the next row. I always like to look at these Sports Illustrated for Kids cards. This is the 89 Gretzky BGS 9.5. Like, this is to pop 1 of 1, none graded higher. It's a cool card. Like, it's one of his first LA Kings cards. It's a cool card. And it's like, for me, wondering, do I want to buy it? Like, is it I've got so many cards. It's like, is this one that I need to add to my collection? I've been struggling with this and the Mario Lemieux for several months now, always wondering, should I bid? And I got to think about it. But then we have the two key rookie cards from 1990 Score, and they're both this time the Score Canadian version, which is the rarer version. You've got, and you can tell because the word Score right here is in red on both the Yager and on the Brodeur, both PSA 10s. Look at these prices. I mean, these are I can't say their best rookie card because Yager's is probably the O-Pee-Chee Premier, but I don't know the the population nor the gem rate for a PSA 10 Yager Score Canadian versus O-Pee-Chee Premier. I'm thinking at this point the O-Pee-Chee Premier is probably a higher population, but I don't know for sure.
It's the most submitted hockey card to PSA ever. Not that it doesn't have the most gem mints, but I think 20,000 were submitted to PSA, and I believe it's maybe number 4, or I can tell you in 5 seconds here.
The most submitted hockey card of all time, right?
The most submitted hockey card of all time
is the Yager O-Pee-Chee Premier. So then this card has probably got, well, here, I'm going to check the population on the Yager here, because these, I mean, listen, this is junk wax, guys. So, you're not going to get rich off these cards, but if you're looking to add these are Hall of Famers, rookie cards, like the Yager Score, it's a population of 964. What's the O-Pee-Chee Premier, Josh? Do you have that handy yet?
Yeah, the gem mint pop is 3,480, and 11,495 have been submitted.
So 3.5 times the population of this card. Now, the O-Pee-Chee Premier is a way nicer card. Like, he's on the ice playing a game. This is taken like at the draft. So, but this is 3.5 times as rare as the O-Pee-Chee Premier. So the other person that's going to buy this Yager is someone who wants all the Yager rookies. You want the Upper Deck, you want the Pro Set, you want the Score, you want whatever else there is from that year. Whereas the Marty Brodeur, I believe this is his only rookie card. I think there might have been something I'm forgetting there, but I'm pretty sure this is outside of the Score American version. I think this is his only rookie card. Like, both of them for $100. Come on. I mean, like, that's fair. That's more than fair, I would think. So, Josh, any thoughts on these outside of the population stuff?
Lots of thoughts. You got to buy that Gretzky. It's the highest grade that there is. You're never going to find a better copy. It's right there for you. I think if you read the description, it says posted for Jeremy Lee.
Yeah. I mean,
so you should think about being on that one. I'm very nostalgic. So again, in 1990, I'm 13 years old. This is right in my wheelhouse. And why I love these two cards in particular, they look completely like high school yearbook photos.
Yeah.
They're so young. It's ridiculous. It makes you remember at times how young these players are when they come into the league.
It is crazy. Terry Fortune confirms it is the only Marty Brodeur rookie card. We have Matt from the Essential Credentials joining us. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend too, Matt. And be sure to check out his Instagram Hockey Collector Roundtable show, which is usually on Wednesdays every week on YouTube on the Essential Credentials YouTube channel. Terry Fortune says the 85 Topps hockey set has only 165. Isn't it 164 though, Terry? Is it 165? I feel like it's a bit different than that, but I could be wrong. But in any event, we were just saying that this is the only version of this card. There isn't a Topps copy, and that's why we're making that comment. And Tom Barrasso also making it into the Hall of Fame along with Mike Vernon. And Dave Snyder says, finally, Pierre Turgeon gets in. I think he was the player with like the most points in the NHL that hadn't been in yet. So nice to see Pierre Turgeon get in. And I got to think about this one. I just don't know if I need the card, but I am intrigued by it. So, because as soon as I get this one, then I need to get this one, you know, you know how that goes. But what a nice pairing, the purple and this blue and purple border here with this blue border. This is 89. This is from, what does that say? What year is that? 93, a few years
93.
later. All right. Well, let's go down to the next row here. The other key rookie card, and his only rookie card, is this Eric Lindros Score Canadian, also a PSA 10. So somebody can swoop in right now and buy the Jágr, the Brodeur, and the Lindros. They're all, look, they were all graded, it seems, by the same person, 7203, 844, 838, and 853. So the same person submitted all three of these cards. They're all from the Score Canadian series. You can knock off the three most important rookie cards from the first year of Score Hockey in one fell swoop here. And knowing that the Lindros and the Brodeur are their only rookie cards, and the Jágr is 3.5 times, someone just bid, 3.5 times rarer than his most popular card. So there you go. This card here, this is similar to the Gretzky up here for me. It's like, this is not his rookie card, you guys. This is from the High Numbers series of 91-92 Upper Deck. He had a card in the Low Numbers series, card number 26, I believe it is, in the Low Number series, where this is card number 587. Yeah, 587. Now, the low number card 26 for him, I think it's 26, he's pictured in his Swedish uniform. Whereas the high numbers, now he'd played a game and they got him pictured in his Detroit Red Wings uniform and called it a Young Guns. For me, I don't care that it's not a true rookie card. This is the nicer card. I'm a big fan of this Lidstrom card. He's a Hall of Famer. And this to me is his best rookie card. And please don't get mad at me for calling a rookie card. But if it, the copy in my collection, which I don't have one, but if I did, and when I get one, I will call it in my own head a rookie card, even though the hobby may not agree with me because he had a lower numbered card in the set. And then again, right here is the Mario Lemieux. I believe his first appearance in SI for kids. I could be wrong, but I believe that to be the case. Pop 1 of 2, one graded higher. It's a BGS 8. And it's cool. It's just cool. But again, it's also like an 8th-year card. So, it depends how, if you're looking for all the Lemieux cards, this matters. Josh, your thoughts on these cards, please.
The Lidstrom card to me, I really love. And I agree with you 100%. I would much rather have that than the World Championship card where he's in his native Sweden's uniform. Just a great card. I really like the Young Guns branding from that year too. I just am a big sucker for the very early Young Guns typography treatment. And so when you look at the 3 Score Canadian 1990s, the Jágr, Brodeur, and Lindros, if you can have one, which one are you adding?
I'm grabbing the Brodeur. If I can only have one. I mean, he's the winningest goaltender of all time. He's an absolute Hall of Famer. The Jágr, you have other options, and Lindros, isn't even pictured in an NHL uniform. So I'm not saying it's not it is his official rookie card, and it's in the NHL set, even though he's not pictured in his NHL uniform. This is the Oshawa Generals, I believe. So I would go with the Brodeur. I guess that's my final answer.
Okay, good answer.
How about you?
I like your reasoning. I just love Jágr. He's one of the guys I PC, and so it's hard to pass him up for there. But definitely, it would be a toss-up between the Brodeur and the Jágr.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue on. All the way to 2005 now. A Sidney Crosby Future Watch Auto, numbered at a 999, BGS 9.5. I do love this card. I love the Future Watch Autos, the rookie cards. let's have a look at the subgrade. Centering is a 9. I want to look at the card. I'm going to zoom out in a second. Let's look at the card together, you guys, and just kind of see, do we think the centering is as bad as a 9 on a modern card? Edges are a 10. Surface and corners are both 9.5. So, and the corners and edges, really tough to assess them on a card with so much white border, but the yellow border here looks perfect to me where it's not white. Corners look fine. Let's zoom out and look at the centering. Maybe I guess it's, I don't know. Is it a little bit high? Like, is the distance between the top of his hair and the border of the card a little bit narrower than you'd expect it to be based on the bottom of the card? There's really nothing down here indicating where it's supposed to end. So I don't know that I would pick this out to be off-centered. Side to side, I would probably, I never noticed this before. Did you ever notice this, that the word future and the word watch are on different like planes? Like this,
No.
I've never noticed that either until right now. And I don't know if that, I got to go look at my copy. I'm just going to go into my database, and I'm in the right folder already. So I'm going to bring this up really quick and see if it's the same on mine. I'm going to really guess that it is. Oh yeah, certainly it is. And yeah, my Ovechkin is the same thing. My card is graded a 10, and the centering looks to be like almost the exact same. You know what? On my card, actually, it's all situated a little bit left, like this distance here between the SP Authentic logo and the edge of the card is wider on this copy for sale tonight than my copy is. And mine got a PSA 10, so maybe it is off center to the right. On this camera, I got to point that way. So despite all that, still we had to look into it that much to decide if this thing was actually off centered. It might be, I guess, a little bit. I'm noticing a little bit of some scratches. I think this must be on the case because the surface did get a 9.5. So, and the autograph looks pretty good. Not maybe a few little, I don't know what you call them, but inconsistencies maybe. And let's see. But the autograph did grade a 10 by Beckett, so that could be on the holder itself. But let's continue on. And then, Josh, after we do all three, I'll just get your thoughts on the three of them like we often do. This is a cool card. These Statscriptions cards, you don't see them very often. Guy Lafleur, kind of a cool card. Great player. Only 60 made. It's a PSA 8, pop 1 of 1, none higher. I would venture to guess there's probably none lower. I'm not certain on that. But if you're in the market for a Guy Lafleur autograph, or really if you're working on this set, I got to think there are people working on the set. And plus, so many Montreal Canadiens collectors out there. So they probably get more love in the hobby than any other NHL team. And then the last card is this one here. So I love these rookie inspiration cards pulled from the Upper Deck Rookie Update series, which came out 3 years in a row, 05, 06, and 07. I believe, no, sorry, it wasn't. It was 03. No, it was 02, 03, and 05. That's when it came out. So they paired up a rookie with like their inspirational veteran. So Henrik Lundqvist got paired up with Dominik Hasek, and Lundqvist just made it into the Hall of Fame this year too. 499 copies made. I had the whole set of these, all 3 years worth of them. I've since sold them all. I kind of, just had other better rookies for each of these players at the time that I wanted. But I do like these cards. They bring back some nostalgia for me because I chased this set one card at a time. And it all started because I pulled one, Josh. I pulled one of my LCS in a box of this stuff. And it's so long ago that I don't remember, but I think it was the Lundqvist Hasek that I pulled. And that's what started me off on completing that set. And then going back to the 2 previous years, and there were 2 Gretzkys and 2 Gordie Howes and lots of great cards in those sets. And there's Ovechkin and Crosby and all that. Funny thing, Crosby it was the only player who didn't sign with anybody because he wasn't signing with other players at the time. Notice also it's a BGS 9. The autos got an 8, likely because the Lundqvist auto seems to be the pen seems to be running out, and on the Hasek, in 2 places, you could see the autograph not fully visible, hidden a little bit by the card itself. These are Avery label autographs that are set inside the card. Josh, any comments on these 3?
All great cards, all iconic players. the Lundqvist and Hockey card obviously has special meaning in the last week now that Lundqvist is added to the Hall of Fame. The other thing that just bothers me about that card, I'm not even as bothered by the 8 auto as how tilted the label is on the card. So if you look at the
Which card?
the
Sorry,
Beckett or the goalie card,
Yeah.
you see how
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. The grade label isn't straight in its place.
one of them screwed up, or both, one of the two. But I think that's a really cool card. Actually, the autos don't bother me too much. You don't see Beckett 8 auto grades very often.
No, this should provide value for somebody because you're still getting the autographs.
Yeah.
It's definitely this label. You can just see it's like, look how it's so much thicker down here than up here. So it's moving around. But I think if you were to take this slab and put it on your desk and just kind of like bang it a couple times, that thing would fall right into place. Not that it wouldn't move again. And don't bang your slabs too hard. I just want to say to Larry says, wish you hit the Marty Brodeur before we hit extended bidding. Larry, it's all access extended bidding. You are eligible to bid right now during extended bidding. That's kind of why we don't talk about it and say, oh, you got 2 minutes to get your bids in anymore before 7 o'clock or 7 o'clock Pacific. PWCC's extended bidding is open to everybody. You did not need to make a qualifying bid before the extended bidding period in order to qualify for extended bidding. So there you go, Larry. Have at her. You are free to bid as you wish. All right, continuing on. Crosby Young Guns, PSA 10. Not much more needs to be said about that. Looks great from here. The centering, sometimes we compare. This one, I just, from looking at it, my feel based on the width of this border here is that it's perfectly centered. We have a rookie year Ovechkin jersey swatch autograph from Upper Deck Ice, $2,100. That is an on acetate auto, guys. That is not on the jersey. This is a coat of acetate on top of the card, protecting the memorabilia, so you can't touch this memorabilia. I mean, you probably can't swap it out either. It's not prone to that. And you have a nice silver autograph on top, which you can see best over the blue and the black parts of the jersey. The card is graded a 9.5. This is a rookie memorabilia auto card of Alex Ovechkin and a BGS 9.5 holder at $2,100. We saw, another one of his rookie auto patches just sold for $160,000 or so. His cup, of course, a different card, no doubt, but and this one isn't numbered, so keep that in mind. And then finally, skipping from 2005 to 2012, we have a Fleer Retro from 2012 Fleer Retro, probably my favorite release of all time. We have Eric Lindros Precious Metal Gems Red in a PSA 7 holder, sitting at $105. Josh, I mean, I'm going to guess you don't have much to say about the Crosby Young Gun unless you have a new popular, because we see them all the time and they're common, but I'm looking forward to your thoughts on this Ovechkin and even the Lindros PMG. Not to say you can't speak about the Crosby. Please do if you have a thought.
The only thing I would say about that is we're entering this off-season period really between now and the middle of July, which Troy and I call the off-season dip, and it really craters in the middle of the July. And this is where you're going to get the best prices of the year on cards like this. And so if you have always wanted a Crosby Young Guns PSA 10, of course, do your own research, look up your own comps, but I'd be willing to bet that this is going to be a really favorable buying period. I appreciate the Ovechkin. I don't know if I love this card. There's so much going on. The auto is a little hard to see for me over the memorabilia. Like I said, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the value of it. I'm just not sure that this was a card that I would love to own, if that makes sense to you at all.
Yeah.
But really cool nonetheless. And I don't know what to say about that. And then on the Lindros, it just amazes me how far in the last 6 months the PMGs have fallen.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing from a collector's perspective, because these cards are pretty affordable now. year or
Certainly
two
are.
ago, this card would have been a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know what this would have sold. I don't know what it sold for sure back at the peak, which was maybe a couple of years ago now, a year to 2 years ago on these. But I could easily see this having been a $400 to $500 card, and tonight it might be $150 when all is said and done. I want to go to a comment that Name put in when we were talking about the Nick Lidstrom card. So this one right up here that has a Canada Cup version. He says, I like the Canada Cup version myself. The Canada Cup cards were a big deal to me when they came out. I loved watching that Canada Cup, and to see cards being released was awesome. That's me though. And yeah, no, I hear what he's saying there, and there's definitely something to it. I think the Lidstrom, if I'm picturing the card right, is it an action shot or is it more of a portrait shot? I believe it's a portrait shot. The Lidstrom. I might be wrong. I can't picture it for some reason right now. So, but either way, I respect Name's thoughts on that for sure. All right, let's go to the second page of favorites or cards that we have selected to look at. And right out of the gate, guys, maybe my favorite card in the auction, in the hockey auction tonight, is this 2015 Platinum Medallion from Fleer Showcase, Connor McDavid rookie and a PSA 9 holder. Pop 12, 5 graded higher, only 99 copies of this card made. Now, not all cards out of 99 are awesome, okay? I recognize that. But when you put the Fleer brand on something, I'm a sucker for that Fleer brand. And this card, I'd almost like to see it with light shining on it, because I think if you look at it, it looks kind of dark. It doesn't look beautiful here, but the card, from seeing them in person, I believe is a very nice looking card, and it sparkles like all this stuff you're seeing in the back. Let me just open this up and close this. Like, this is a sparkly card, and it's got the red foil on it. Like, this is and the Fleer logo right there. I really like the card. $900 right now. And I'm not going to buy it, but I would like to own a copy. I don't. And I'm just going to be happy for the new owner of this card. A couple of young guns of two of the hottest players in the hobby, and maybe not right now with Matthews, but McDavid and Matthews PSA 10s. Fun to watch and just see where they're going in value. I mean, this card was what, $1,100, $1,200, $1,500 over the last few months. We'll see what it sells for tonight. Josh, what are your thoughts on this card, to the extent that, and again, I don't know how much you know about it, but what are your thoughts on this Fleer Showcase Platinum Medallion McDavid and the other two young guns as well?
It's one that we talked about on our show last week. I really, really like it too. I'm a sucker for Fleer. I've been the new 2021 release, which was EPAC only, that came out a few weeks ago. Been buying a bunch of the medallion cards from that. Here's my
medallion, because there's several parallels of the medallion I've noticed. So
this is a gold out of 200 in Ovechkin that I bought.
Hold on, keep it up. I want to see it.
Sorry, the lighting is. And these are so much better in person. So just a really quick story. We've discussed this ad nauseum on our show, but with 2021 Fleer being an EPAC exclusive release, the digital cards that are not physical, meaning that they can't be sent to you, are scans that are protected. They had ComC scan all the physical cards, and nothing against ComC, but the images are terrible. So when you open your packs on EPAC, they're dull, they're blurry, they just look awful. And so it's one thing to see them in hand, is when you really start to appreciate how much they pop and how much like the medallions shine. So I'm a big fan of just the medallion sort of brand of card. When it comes to this card specifically, I love the fact that it's right next to the Young Guns, because I just feel like, McDavid's Young Guns is selling in the $2,500, $2,600 range right now. I don't think that this card goes anywhere near that. And I just have to believe that the person tonight that buys this card for whatever it goes for is going to be a lot happier 10 years from now than the person that buys that McDavid Young Guns.
I'm so with you. This Oh god, it's almost like I feel this card has gone from 900, I guess, to 1,050 since we started talking about it. Maybe someone watching is bidding, and now it's like I'm thinking I wouldn't mind picking it up, but now I don't want to bid against whoever's watching right now that wants to buy it. Bid against our viewer. So, you like what you just said really resonated with me. Like it's right beside this card. There's thousands of these there's thousands of PSA 10s. Never mind copies of this card. Only 99 copies of this card were printed, and you're going to get it for less than 50% of the price of this one. Then you went and said, Josh, I don't know if you said 5 or 10 years later, who's going to be happier? The owner of this card for sure will be happier than the owner of that card.
Yeah, there's between BGS 9.5 and PSA 10, there's over 10,000 McDavids.
10,000. That's 1%. 100 made over 10,000. That's 1%, right? My math is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1%. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Another bids. You guys are bidding. Like I'm sitting here thinking about bidding on it. You guys are bidding on it. My God.
It's an amazing card. And I love the background kind of reminds me of the Black Diamond.
I'm putting in a bid.
The rookie gems. Sorry. And I just love how he pops off of it. And I'm really tricked to heart because I've never seen one of these in person where I think I'm probably inclined to agree with you that I'm sure in hand it's a lot better anyways.
Oh yeah, because it sparkles. This card sparkles. Like, yeah. Numbered right there. 66 of 99. It's even got Mario Lemieux's jersey number on it for anyone who likes that. A really nice serial. Oh my God, this card is awesome.
I might go as far to say, Jeremy, that this is one of my favorite cards in the last 4 or 5 shows that we've done. I think this is a really, really, really nice card.
Are any of you guys bidding on this? Because, I don't know. It's wow. Okay. Well, good luck out there. Good luck out there. Name says off topic, Jeremy, but I was wondering why nobody talks about 0304 Upper Deck under glass autos. They were huge at one time. Yeah. Good question, Name. I don't know. And I'm also not completely familiar. I know about them, but I'm not fully familiar with them. I can see I'm having a bit of might be having some connectivity issues. Do you have me, Josh?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, let's keep on going. This Yager from Upper Deck Splendor is a beautiful card. It's only 5 copies of this card made. 2 of 5. Gorgeous patch. Beautiful auto. Beautiful card. SGC 9.5. Autos at 10. No doubt about that. A gorgeous card for the Yager collector. $1,000. This card would have been $2,000. This card would have been over $2,000. Back at the Fall Expo. A great looking card and a card that somebody's going to be very happy with. So congratulations in advance to the owner of this card. And then 2 more Young Guns, Josh, just to keep tabs on them. A Jack Hughes PSA 10 and his brother Quinn, the Quinn Hughes PSA 10 as well. What are your thoughts on these 3, especially the Yager?
Yeah, the Yager that's one of my favorite cards of him I've ever seen. I think that the patch window is really interesting. I like the kind of tall and skinny, and the fact that there's 3 colors and 4 breaks in such a skinny patch window is pretty amazing. And I actually looked into the parallels of this card because the whole borderless thing threw me off. And the higher number or the more common parallels, so like the out of 25 or 99, whatever, they did have borders, and they were kind of ugly. So by far, this is the best looking one. I love how the autograph lays over the card. If you're a Yager guy, I mean, it's just an awesome, maybe Splendor doesn't have it's not like a limited logos type of prestige, but you're getting just an awesome card at a pretty good price at this point. And then you got the 2/3 of the Hughes triumvirate now in the NHL. It's going to get even more interesting next season with Luke playing full time with Jack in New Jersey. I think Jack is one of the most exciting young players. There's a number of his cards that I've bought over the last year. This is one card I would not buy. the gem rate on this Young Guns is 75%.
Yeah.
And it's just, or I would buy it at, well, even now, maybe $150, which eventually it's just going to, as the pop keeps increasing, the price is gonna go down. And this was a $350 card back in January and February of this year. It is let's see, I'm counting the 4th highest pop count of any hockey card for PSA 10 that exists. So it's super, super high pop. And then, Quinn is a nice player. He's in Vancouver, which seems like they're kind of a mess. And, the question with any defenseman is, do they score goals? And I think he's like a 10 goal or something like that, a season type guy. And so that's more of a collector card than I would think like an investor card if you're a Canucks fan or want to have all the Hughes brothers.
And the defenseman thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I have some comments on the Jack Hughes. Yes, it's a super high pop card. I do think that we could see short-term opportunities on a card like this. If he comes out of the gate next season or the season after and the season after that, improving on his play. I agree with you. One of, if not the most exciting, like young players from 2019 forward in the NHL. Like he's not as exciting as Connor McDavid, who's still young, but I think he's right up there. He's one of my favorite young players in the league. Like that if I was a prospector and I collected Young Guns, I might be putting away a few of these at, the summer during the summer dip. I would be fearful that yes, the pop count is going to continue to go up, but I would also I think he's the real deal. So that might counterbalance that. And I might be able to sell some at times where he is hot and trending. Now I'm not really good at doing that. But I know other people.
I would agree with you though. Like if you can get this card, here's how you make money on this card. I think within the next 3 weeks, you can get it in the probably 180 to 200 range. That's where I would predict it would go down to. But then you have to sell it like 3 days before the season starts and make your money. And then if you want it again, buy it back 3 months later when it's back down again. That's sort of the ebb and flow that you see with these really high pop Young Guns.
Yeah, fair. The Yager. I want to just chat about this. Now it's sold already, so I'll be quick. The other parallels, I think the highest print run parallel from Splendor was 36 cards.
Okay.
With borders. The other thing to note, these were 1 card per pack. If they came out of Splendor, this might have come out of the cup as an update, but Splendor itself was its own brand that was 1 card per pack. And if you pulled this card, congratulations to you. It's now sold at $1,200. The Hughes sold for $228, and the Quinn Hughes sold for $96. These 3 cards are still alive. We have a Cale Makar Young Gun PSA 10 at $500. And then I pulled up these 4. There's 4 of these 2019 canvas McDavids. They're just a canvas. They're not a rookie or anything like that. But we have 2 black label pristine 10 Beckett copies, along with 2 regular pristine 10 copies. And I just wanted to see, I thought it'd be interesting to watch. So these 2 are at $125. These 2 are these 2 have sold for $30. So basically you can't get this card graded for $30 with shipping and everything, to and from the grading company for this price. And you could have had this card, you could have had a BGS 10 slabbed card for pretty much less than the cost of grading, but the black labels are still going at $125 and they haven't sold yet. Josh, and the Cale Makar just got a bid past 500 up to 5.25. Josh, your thoughts on all of these 5 cards, the Makar and the 4 McDavid. I want to say base canvas. They're not really base. They are a parallel, but still base canvas McDavids from 2019.
The Makar is actually on a little bit of a rebound lately, which is kind of interesting. It had bottomed out at like $377 the 8th of the month, so just about 2.5 weeks ago, and has been kind of trending up a little bit ever since then. It's amazing that and I don't know this off the top of my head. I wish I did right now, but at $525 for an active defenseman, I wonder what the second most valuable young guns for an active NHL defenseman is. It can't be more than $150. I don't
I'm
know if it would be like
struggling.
Adam Fox, maybe, or I'm trying to think of who it might be, but so if I'm
Carlson.
right,
It might be Eric Carlson. 2009 young gun.
yeah, maybe, and probably just because like the pop is so low. I mean, this is a population count of over 2,144. So
Yeah.
it's just the amount of hobby respect and relevance of Cale Makar is really a phenomenon that has continued now for the past year plus. To me, I like the canvas McDavid. I think it's kind of a cool card. I look at this like, well, if you ever wanted to own a BGS Black Label card of a good player, this is a very palatable one to get into. It's not going to cost you 50 grand like maybe one of his young guns would at a BGS 10 Black Label. And so, it is the sexiest label. And I'm in general not a huge Beckett fan, but it's hard to argue that, man, nothing gets hobbyists more excited than seeing that Black Label. So
Yeah, very true. Okay, so we also had a Jack Eichel clear cut future watch that sold for $222. Nice looking card, and he's now a Stanley Cup winner. He has one more Stanley Cup than his draft competition Connor McDavid does. A couple comments before we continue on. The professor was bidding on the McDavid, but started bidding 5 days ago. He's talking about this card right here that's now at $1,275 plus about $250. So this card has now crossed the $1,500 price point. Meanwhile, just over 50% of the price of the young gun that did $2,760. And look at the Matthews, $690 for a PSA 10. These cards were close to $2,000 not too long ago, probably less than 1 year ago, in that $1,700-$1,800 area right there. And Terry says that is one. Oh, those Under the Glass cards, one of his favorite sets. David G says, no mention of the Jim Craig rookie. No, David didn't select it, but I want to say, if you ever see a card in one of these auctions that you'd like us to talk about and have favorited, just send me a DM on Instagram or however, contact me any way you can and let me know, and I'll add it to the list for sure. Happy to do that. So please just keep that in mind. And Daniel Brown, you're on the wrong channel if you want to start talking politics here. We're talking hockey cards. So, but thank you for being here. All right, continuing on. The Kaprizov, the Troy Iverson Kaprizov clear cut 03 exquisite tribute is still alive at $750. 49 copies made of this card. Nice. Let's look at it actually. Looks like a pretty card, I would say. It's acetate. Autograph looks like perfect, pretty much perfect on acetate. Really nice auto. Very nice card. I love the 03 exquisite design. So $750 for that right now. Is this a rookie card, Josh? Like, is it a rookie year card? I guess it is 2020, right?
yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. And then we have two young guns that have sold, the Moritz Seider and the Lucas Raymond. $100 on the Seider and $50 on the Raymond. Josh, comments on these cards?
The Kaprizov is really interesting. It's kind of neat to see that iconic, exquisite design in an acetate format.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was going to spend $750 on a Kaprizov rookie. I don't know, but it is a card that interests me. And then, yeah, at this point, I think with Seider and Raymond, you're trying to, expecting a big bounce back because especially Raymond did not have a great sophomore season. And we just did last week on our show, biggest hobby disappointment for the 2022 season. And one of our 4 candidates was Mo Seider. And I think as Troy and I kind of work these things out together and discuss them, one of the thoughts that I had around this is, to some degree, I wonder, getting back to Cale Makar a little bit, if Mo has sort of initially benefited from a hobby chase perspective, being so aligned with that magical period that Makar was going through. So if you think about when Series 2 came out for 2021, it was right after the Stanley Cup. It was Makar Mania. Everything was Bobby Orr this, Bobby Orr that. And then here you have a good, solid defenseman that maybe not be an offensive juggernaut, but had a really good rookie year and won the Calder trophy, and the hobby went nuts. Like this was a $500 card at one point, and now it's $100.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
I just wonder that, I getting back to the Makar and sort of the hobby, or what am I trying to say here? Sort of the status of defensemen in the hobby, that I think there's one Cale Makar, and that's probably it at this point.
Well, I had no idea this would have been a $500 card back when. So definitely available at a discount tonight, but who knows? We'll see what he does this season. This could be selling for this price a year from now. We just don't know.
And it shows you how fickle the hobby is, right?
And Raymond could be a $250 card at this time next year if he has a breakout season next year. It could happen. It could happen. And then the last two cards that we were going to look at, we had a Mason McTavish Canvas Young Gun rookie sold for $33 in PSA 10. And I mean, I'm just thinking about him because of the youth in Anaheim, and they did not land the number one pick, which might have seen this card sell for double or triple what it sold for tonight if they did. But it'll be interesting to watch how he does. A nice Team Canada image here on this one. And then we had a 2022, another BGS 10 McDavid Canvas card. And I thought that would be fun to watch. But look, it only, like, a BGS 10 McDavid card only gets $27.60. Pop 3. I don't know. I understand it's a 6th-year card, and it's just it's not really, it's a bit of a hit because it's McDavid and it's Canvas, but still, you can't grade
with
for
shipping.
that.
You can't. Yeah. I was just gonna say you can't grade for that much. And then I think on the McTavish, boy, a couple years from now, Anaheim could be a really interesting team. Yes, they lost out on Bedard, but a Adam Fantilli consolation prize is pretty good too. And what I like about Fantilli and the combination with McTavish is they're both big. Yeah. And when you have a really teeny tiny Trevor Zegras, it's going to be good to match him up with some big centers, where I think Fantilli's 6'2", something like that. And so I think the stars are aligned once that team matures a little bit to be a really exciting team in the NHL and then in the hobby as well.
Yeah. It'll be fun to watch for sure. All right. Well, these two cards have ended. Let's scroll up and see what's still open for bidding. Looks like in a minute 40, this one might be over unless someone bids on the Kaprizov. These three cards are sold. These are still going. They've gone up a bit, maybe 150 and 180 on this. 630 on the Makar. Larry said just overpaid for the Makar. Happy as an Avs collector. But he also won the 71 Esposito and the 80 Ray Bork. So Larry, I just am curious. Did you not know you could bid until I said it a few minutes ago? And is that kind of why you bid? I'm really curious if that's what happened tonight, because if I did, that's pretty cool. I'm glad that you mentioned it and that I answered the question. You got a couple cards for your collection. So, but I'm curious if that's what happened. Houday Card says the defenseman never seemed to hold value, to which Eric Sanderson-Dora says, well, don't forget about Bobby Orr. Mm-hmm. Him and Bork, Paul Coffey. There's a few guys that hold value, but still, it's tough. It's very, very tough for them to get there for sure. Oh, Bobby Orr's in the under the glass set as well too. Yes. All right. Well, that's good to know, Larry. Thanks for asking, and I'm glad I could help you out tonight. And congratulations on the cards. Continuing up on the scroll, those we had looked at already. 1530. No more. Okay, listen. Congratulations to whoever bought this McDavid tonight. If you're in there, let me know. I'm very happy for you. I want to hear from you once you get it in hand. If it's as nice as how much nicer it is than the copy. I believe it's a lot nicer. So congratulations. Look at that, Josh. Just over half the price of a young gun. Population 1 million, population 100. Like I obviously it's not 1 million. I'm definitely
it's not that far off. And I would guess that for that, you tell me you've seen those Fleer Showcase platinum medallions in person, but I would guess that 9 is probably a pretty good grade for a card like that.
9's always a good grade. 9's a good grade. Like it's a mint condition card, So yeah, for sure. Let's look at the last page here, see what happens. So the Crosby Future Watch did $52.80. The Lafleur Auto $65. The Lundqvist Rookie paired up with a Hasek Auto did $168. $14 on the Lemieux, $31 on the Lidstrom Young Gun, $72 on the Lindros PSA 10, $72 on the Brodeur, and $53 on the Jagger. Steal, I think, although that's gut, and I'm not basing it on comps or anything. The Gretzky SI for kids does $175, $276.
Did you buy it?
I did not. No, I did not. $276 on the Lemieux scoring leaders, $552 on the PSA 9 Yzerman rookie, $186 on the PSA 8 overgraded, unattractive Paul Coffey rookie. Looks like Larry bought this Ray Bork for $50. I mean, yeah, I hear it. $2,000 almost for the Messier BVG 95. What did you say the last one sold for in this condition? Do you remember?
I want to say it was 24 or 2,600, and it was April 2022.
Not too far off. Like it's come down, but not too far. The second year Gretzky PSA 8 did $324. $12,000 on the PSA 8 Gretzky rookie with the exceptional eye appeal designation, and $4,800 on the PSA 7. Not my favorite 7, but not a horrible one either. $45 on the Bill Dineen featuring Al Arbor. $456 on the Alex Del Vecchio with the exceptional eye appeal rating, and $444 on the Boom Boom Jeffreyon, very nice PSA 4, and finally $1,260 on the Walter Smale hand on stick SGC 5. Beautiful card. All right, well let's take that off, do final comments, and we will wrap up. The professor picked up the Score Brodeur.
Nice.
You're welcome, Professor. Nice. I think that's a great buy. I mean, listen, as I said, it's not a card that you're going to retire on or put your kid through college on or get rich on. No, it's just a good value collector card, I would say. Eric just picked up another Bork rookie today to show. I'm going to have Ray sign it. Very nice, Eric. Saw you say that's on a recent thread that you love to do that. So that's great. SSP Joel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. All right, Josh, I think we're good to wrap up. The auction's pretty much over tonight. I'm just going to make sure that of the cards we were watching, is anything still? Nothing on page 1. Those have all sold. And on page 2, looks like one of the McDavid Black Label canvases are still alive. And look at this. The Kaprizov is now up to 825. So this one is still going. So of all of the 41 cards we were looking at, the Kaprizov is still going, as is this McDavid here at 190. But knowing that this did 216, and that is this 190 plus 20%, right? 190 and 38. That's a bit 10, 20. Something's not mad. So it's maybe this is a bit higher actually, right? That'd be 228 now. So this one is going to sell for more than this one. But this is probably, you got to think just based on this price here, this one's probably done for the night. And then we'll have to see what happens here, but we may not stick around for it tonight to see it end. Houday Cards, thank you so much. Thank you for joining the show. Josh, what's going on? We'll have an episode coming out early in the morning tomorrow of the Gong Show. Josh, are you guys continuing during the off season with 2 episodes a week, or are you going to scale it back to 1 during the off season? What are your thoughts?
We're doing 2. We actually have more to talk about than, well, Troy and I had this realization that you got kind of boxed in the playoffs, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals, where you're sort of forced to, not in a bad way, but just talk about what's going on in the series. And we've had all these ideas for the past couple months where we've been like, oh, we should do a segment on this. And we're like, it's more for the off season. So we have more content ideas than we can think of at this point, and we're still having a lot of fun. So we're continuing to do 2 a week.
Well, glad to hear it, but I also kind of recognize it's a lot of work for you guys. So good luck. But hey, summertime, hopefully you have a few extra hours here and there. Craig's Cards, thank you so much for being here. A Flames and the Flames logo in the house, like to see it. And that's going to be it for tonight, guys. We should be back next Sunday for another go round of the PWCC hockey auctions. And if you're interested, next Saturday on Sports Cards Live, my guest is going to be Paul Lesko, the resident legal beagle of the hobby with a big Twitter following. So should be an interesting. I think that's next. Yes, he is on with me next Saturday. I'm going to just confirm that before I give you misinformation. That would be July the 1st, Paul Lesko. So please join me for that. Thank you, Name. Appreciate that. Thank you, Larry. Are you doing the what? What are you asking there, Larry? Great show. Are you doing the JUL? The JUL. I'm not sure what that is, the JUL. Probably going to do the JUL. I do most things. So
why not?
But if you can clarify that in the next couple of seconds, Larry, I can answer for sure and see what it is you're asking about, because I don't know what the JUL is. But you're running out of time, Larry. Everybody who did join tonight, the July 9 show. Yeah, is that is that a Sunday? Is July 9th a Sunday?
I think so. If the first is.
Yes, it is. No. July 9th is the Sunday. I believe we are like this PWCC hockey show here. We are really looking to do this 3 out of every 4 Sundays. So it's not every Sunday. 3 out of every 4 Sundays is what we're planning to do, Josh and I. And is there another Sunday? Like, we won't be doing it the Sunday of the National, the end of July. I will be at the National. And there might be one other time between now and then we don't do it. But yeah, Larry, we're planning to do the July 9th show, right, Josh?
Maybe, because that's 4th of July weekend here. So I'll talk to you about that.
July 9th is 4th of July weekend there.
Oh, no. The weekend before. The weekend before we might not. Would that be next weekend?
Right. That's the one you mentioned. So that would be the 2nd, July 2nd.
Yeah, the second. That one next weekend, we'll have to see.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to find a Canadian hockey fan. Maybe I'll ask someone else to join me to sit in on that one with me so that we can stick with the 3 of 4. But don't worry, that's your seat, Josh. That is your seat. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Josh. Hang tight 1 minute. Everybody else, thanks for joining. Congratulations on your new hockey cards that you won tonight at the auction. And we'll see you back next time. This episode